A lot of men lack the discipline to be able to say, this is where I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to be. And a lot of men don't choose just you. I want to choose you. This is what I'm going to work on. This is where we are. So oftentimes when you have that baby mama who's bitter and she's hurt and she's keeping the child from you, it's because her feelings weren't validated. A lot of times if a ex and an ex sit down together and they have an adult conversation and that man actually shuts the fuck up and listens to why she's hurt, what you did to hurt her, and he says, you know what? I shouldn't have done those things. I understand that I did hurt you. I apologize for those things. I wasn't in the right mind space. Whatever it is that he says, then that gives that woman a space to say, you heard me. A lot of times men don't have the patience to hear the woman because the way they're presenting how they feel it's not what I want to hear. If I come to you and say, Justin, can I talk to you?
Talk to me, Tacarra.
And you say, yeah, and this is me to my husband. You remember the way you talked to me earlier? Yeah, I didn't like that. Well, what didn't you like? Because you tell me what to do and you don't ask me to do stuff, and I don't feel like I'm a partner when you talk to me like that. Well, what did I say to you? You said, go do this right now, as opposed to saying, babe, can you go do this right now?
I respect that.
I said those two words mean something to me. It reminds me that I'm your woman. It reminds me that I'm your babe. It reminds me that I'm your wife. It reminds me that you're just asking me to do something for you because you need me. But when you tell me, go do this, it doesn't sound loving.
Now, if he asks you, would you have done it? Okay.
Yeah.
And he notices the difference. He tells me.
Yes.
You know what he says? I notice the difference. When I say, go do this or put this over here, you look at me like I'm crazy. But I'll ask you the exact same thing in 2 days. And you like, yeah, babe, what else? That's good? And he's like, I'm looking at you like, is it really that simple? I said, speak to women like we're women. Stop talking to us like we niggas.
Like
and
we're
stop
your
being
child.
so alpha male doesn't mean I'm going to tell you what the fuck to do, how to do it, when to do it, and you going to fucking do it. That's not an alpha male. You speak to me like I'm your partner. But my point is that I could have been like, don't fucking talk to me like that. Don't fucking ask me. No, I'll give it a second and say, hey, I didn't like the way you just talked to me.
I receive everything you said. This is my last point on this.
Go.
I receive everything you just said. Then you have women like Dale. Okay, so wait a minute. Hear me out. This is what I mean by this. I love you, Dale. You know, I love you.
Justin's wife is locked up.
She is in the basement.
She is locked up.
Watching
She doesn't
this.
have freedom, and she doesn't get to see him when they have sex. It's guys, we need you know what?
A wellness
Justin,
check.
Hold on, Justin.
I fuck my wife via
This
Zoom.
is actually not a podcast. Lee brought us here as an intervention for your wife. Okay, she needs to be heard.
This is what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
You say women want to be heard and women want to be talked to respectfully and all that. I get all of that. If you have a spiteful woman, like she just said, and you have a child that she's walking around that looks like the nigga that she hates, okay? A spiteful woman. Now, there's going to be some women you could talk to, and they're going to say, damn, finally, I feel heard. I appreciate you saying that to me, and let's move forward in a positive way.
Right.
Then there's going to be other women.
There are other women.
There's going to be other women that's going to say, I got to look at this nigga that look like you. Here you is coming with this other chick in the car, and I got to still deal with this shit for another 18 years?
Yes.
Fuck this nigga.
That's what you signed up for.
See what I'm saying?
You need to choose. No. You need to still be liking her now.
No. See,
okay.
I'm going to tell you the difference between a man and a woman.
You signed up for that. You knew it was a possibility, and it's happening. Anytime you have a child by somebody, this is what my mother said. Because I had my son
keep
when I
that
was very
same
young.
energy when it comes to niggas cheating.
But listen,
just keep that same energy.
I don't know, but let me. But just listen to
keep
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
energy.
My mother said that when you have a child, always be prepared to be a single mother. You don't want to be a single mother. The goal is not to be a single mother. But at the end of the day, that man can get up and leave whenever he wants to, and you have that child. So always be prepared to co-parent.
You can leave too.
Always be but the majority don't.
But you can.
Realistically, it's
you
the
can.
majority.
And slavery was a choice.
So when you
I'm joking.
But a lot of women aren't even accepting to the fact that the man don't want them. So the man don't want you. He's moved on. He's got another person. He's with somebody else. You have to accept that it's not you. Like that's just an accepting part of life. You?
Like it is you.
Like
it's all your fault.
Like y'all not together no more.
Oh, okay.
So he moved on and he's with somebody else. You gotta let that go. And a lot of women don't have the mental fortitude to let that go.
As long as you know, crazy.
So if you can't let that go, then it is going to always cause problems because you're going to feel like you giving her something I don't have, or you have the family with her that I don't have, or you have the this that I don't have. And mentally that drives you crazy. And then it potentially affects the relationship between the child and the parent. So for when I'm saying keep that same energy, when I'm saying you were aware of that was, there were signs that it was coming. Mm-hmm. There were signs that this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. It happened. Don't act brand new. And a lot of women nowadays, it's even more evident than it was back in the day. Back in the day, you couldn't tell your nigga was cheating. There was no social media. There was no this. Now it's so present that women be knowing and be surprised. And then when it happens, it's just like, you with her and not with me, and fuck you, and this baby look like you. Most of the time, get a baby to the father then.
And also, guys,
most men will take give me my fucking kid then.
Dudes do want their children.
And also,
give me my kid.
Also, guys, okay, you saw she was beefing with all her friends when y'all met her. You saw she was beefing with, her family when y'all was at the cookout, and you still asking to go raw, nigga. You signed up for this. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Is you signed up for this.
I don't feel bad for no dude that raw dogged in a crazy bitch. If you raw dogged in a crazy woman, you skeeted up in her, and now you got to deal with those consequences. That was you made a poor decision. You got to be careful with it. All comes down to, I feel like it comes down to two things. Being careful, you got to be cautious with who you choose as a partner, and then compromise.
Yep.
Okay, and then the other thing, my daddy told me this too. My daddy, they've been married for 40 years. You can't clap with one hand. This is what I mean by that. Arguing. Right? But guess what? You take one hand away.
Yep.
Don't make no noise. Now, I told my daddy, you can't get slapped by one hand. The disrespect, right? Chris Rock. But you can get slapped with one hand, right? But you can't fucking clap. So this is what I mean by that. You're choosing to argue.
Yep.
Your arguing is a choice because someone needs to have the maturity
to walk away
and say, this ain't worth arguing about right now or at all. Because 9 times out of 10, a week go by or a month go by, you're not even going to remember
what the argument
was about. And that's what I gauge the importance on what me and my wife get into it about now. If I know it's some bullshit, it ain't even me. It ain't worth me combating her about it, and vice versa. It ain't worth combating about it. I'm done.
I agree with that. Because this is my second marriage.
That's right.
And I'm learning a lot of shit in the second marriage. Okay. And one of the things I learned is that everything ain't worth arguing over.
That's a fact.
Sometimes we look at each other. I be like, we really about to argue over who left the wash machine door open.
Yeah.
Just close it.
Yeah.
And be mindful, both of us.
That's right. Next time.
Who closes it next time.
Absolutely. When you see something that need to be done, just do it.
Do you want to drink?
That's what I'm talking about. Dale, like, nah, fuck all that.
Because I'm for sure about that.
No, I'm not one of those type of wives.
I'm going to kill a nigga tonight.
First of all, no, I'm not one that, listen, when I was married, I am the type of person that likes the peace in the home. I don't like to re-argue over things. I don't like to keep on bringing up, the topic after topic, but it does need to be resolved. And then also too, if I feel like it's resolved, the person may be bringing it back up because, y'all forget that husbands, when they get real comfortable, they need to go over conversations over and over and over again too. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean?
Meaning like they will be comfortable enough to keep talking about something until they feel it's resolved. Yeah. So, and it doesn't mean like we're arguing. It just means like, I'm not, like, I definitely was married and had a conversation, for 6 months about the same thing, and I felt like I was ready to explode.
One of y'all crazy. If you had the same conversation for 6 months, somebody crazy.
People are crazy anyway. You know what I'm saying? And
that's true too.
No, I'm talking about, and they get even crazier when they're married to the person and they feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
It's not like it's the wife that's going to be doing this or just the husband that's going to be doing this. It's both of y'all that's going to be needing resolution at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not, I'm not the get it popping person. I'm the person that like to cook. I want the music going.
You get it popping, Dale. Cut the shit. You get it popping. Take accountability. Now let me ask you. No, you get it popping. You a goddamn lie.
No, I listen.
Dale shows to stay like this.
Listen.
She's ready to get it popping.
I'm not a get it popping her. I'm going to get it re-popping her if you pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I try to keep the peace because I just want to cook and I want to have a good time. But,
Dale has boxing gloves in her purse.
And that purse big as hell. She got some damn sure got some shit in
I
there.
do not have boxing gloves, but I do have a small knife up in here. Okay. So if in case we want to get it popping.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. Let me ask y'all a question. We about to get out of here. But let me ask you a question. What's one thing that each of y'all have learned in your past relationship that you use now in your current relationship or you would use in your new relationship?
Validating the man's feelings too. Not just thinking because you're a man, be strong, not shut the fuck up, but just be strong. You can handle it. You got this. You good. You a man. Stopping for a second and say, he has a feeling too. And when I say, hey, I need you to validate how I feel and I need you to understand where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, I got to do the same for you. And I got to be quiet and let you talk too. So me and my husband have this thing where we don't validate each other's feelings at the same time. So if I say I feel a way about something, he can't come back and be like, well, I feel a way about this. You can't do that. You got to validate how I feel first. I have to internalize that you validated it because what it does is it leaves me open and available to now listen to what you have to say. So when we fighting for validation for each other's feelings, we don't get nowhere. So, but I've learned that he got feelings too. Because women be like, just go make the money, pay the bills, shut, like what you complaining about. But men, you got shit that you want to get off your chest too. Something ain't right with you. Your wife might have did something that you didn't like, or maybe she closed her eyes too, and you might not close your eyes, but she don't close her fucking eyes. You understand? Like the point is that I learned in this marriage is that I have to stop and listen too. And and it's hard to do because we're not programmed to do that.
Right. And we comedians.
Yeah. We're not programmed to sit back and listen seriously at a masculine, man saying, hey, I feel vulnerable. And not throwing it in their face later.
Yeah, because that's y'all do some shit like that.
But sitting back and listening to it and allowing them the comfortable space to say, I feel better talking to you about that. I've been wanting to say that for
How many times you told your dude he had a small dick? Which one you told?
He don't, so I can't say that to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that on here. Don't put that.
But that was a very good point, because I want to say too that a lot of men.
Oh, Julian, you're still.
Yeah, Julian's here.
Yeah, I took a nap.
First of all, what the fuck is that?
Hold on. When did you get here? When did you get here?
Julian, when y'all know his name?
I took a.
This guy. Just
Come on, you all
walked in.
saw me right there
There's a
taking a
ghost
nap real quick.
talking.